Today we're in Cardiff Bay to interview Neil Hamilton, the leader of Welsh UKIP, to find out about political engagement, immigration and other important political issues. Let's hear what he's got to say. Right, Neil. Earlier this year we had the EU referendum. I think it's fair to say you were more than a little bit passionate about the topic. It was a heated discussion with strong arguments put forward by both sides. But at the end of all of that, only around 35% of under 25-year-olds turned out to vote. So what went wrong?
Well, I don't think you're right in that, actually, because I made this mistake the other day. That relies upon an exit poll that was taken by Sky News at the time of the referendum, and I said this in the Senate, and David Melding, who was sitting next to me, said no, it was 65 or 70%. And lo and behold, I looked up the figures afterwards, and so it was. So your generation, not as bad as you were thinking, you see. But I know that unlike when I was your age, 100 years ago, not many young people get really involved in politics as they did then. When I was 17 or 18, the Young Conservatives had 250, 300,000 members throughout the United Kingdom. Now, if you put together all the members of all the parties, they wouldn't come to much more than that. Of course, as a result of Jeremy Corbyn, a lot of young people have joined the Labour Party very recently. But apart from that, I would say that the total membership of all age groups of political parties in this country is well short of 1 million out of 65 million people. So how do we get people generally of all age groups interested in politics is the bigger question. As regards young people, I was an idealist when I was your age. I'm still an idealist today, which is why I'm still in politics, because I believe it's all about the larger questions which govern the way in which we run our own lives. That's why I went into politics in the first place, because I don't want the government telling me what to do, more than is absolutely necessary. I want to run my own life in my own way. And that idealism was with me 100 years ago. I was joking, of course. I meant 50 years ago, when I was at school, and is with me even today.
And why is it so important to vote, to go out to those ballot stations across the country and strike those crosses? Why is it so vital to do that?
Well, if you don't vote, you can't complain afterwards, can you? If you don't like what those who are doing things in your name have done. When you think that over many hundreds of years our democracy was created by people who very often made huge sacrifices, sometimes their lives, in order to secure the freedoms that we have today, they can only ultimately be fully protected if people engage with the political process and participate in it, and take control themselves. And so the uprisings that we've seen in the last few months in the form of the Brexit vote and also in the presidential election this week in America, I think are an indication of what happens when the people rise up against the political establishment and decide they've had enough. And it shouldn't be just once in a while or a few times in a century this happens. It should actually happen in every single election. We should get really engaged, and we should take the process by the scruff of the neck and try to get what we want out of it.
And now, let's imagine for a second, you were the First Minister for Wales. What are your priorities for young people?
Well, my priorities for young people are really the same as my priorities for older people. And what I want to do is get the government off the backs of the people. Of course, in the Senedd, the Welsh Government has at the moment only got very limited powers. We will be getting tax-raising powers as a result of the bill currently going through Parliament. What I want to do in Wales is to create a low-tax, low-regulation, libertarian environment in which we can all prosper and live our lives in our own way. And I hope that's something which young people will warm to as an idea. Not having the government say you can't do this, you can't do that. Why can't people make these decisions for themselves?
And now for a quick fire round. No long-winded answers. Be as brief as possible.
Right, I'll take that as a rebuke on my answers to the earlier questions.
Vote at 16, yes or no?
Well, I'm not in favour of votes at 16.
Okay. Compulsory voting, yes or no?
I'm not in favour of compulsory voting.
And online voting?
My mind is open to online voting. I just need to be satisfied that the technology is foolproof.
With regards to immigration to Wales, do you think the levels should be lowered?
Well, I don't see how we could control immigration to Wales without Wales becoming a legally independent country, which obviously I'm opposed to.
Or as the UK as a whole, then?
Oh, I see. I'm so sorry. Yes, right. Well, if you take it as the UK as a whole, we're adding a city the size of Cardiff to the population of the United Kingdom every single year as a result of immigration alone. That's 1/3 people added to our population. This can't go on. It's causing all sorts of social pressures, and it must be lowered. It must be at least halved, and possibly even more.
And can you use one word to sum up the Conservative Party?
History.
Would you ever consider perhaps a re-entry into the Conservative Party? Do you think that's possible?
No, I'm very happy in my own party. If UKIP had been in existence 50 years ago, I would have joined it then.
Now, Donald Trump is the President-elect of the United States. Are you happy with that? Would you have voted for him?
I certainly think he's preferable to the alternative, although I don't find him a very appetising figure.
And can you use one word to sum up your own party, UKIP?
Independence.
And finally, can you just take 30 seconds or less to sum up why young people should vote for UKIP?
Young people should vote for UKIP because they should want to govern their own lives democratically. And UKIP believes in the independence of the United Kingdom, and within the United Kingdom, giving as much independence to individuals.
Neil Hamilton, diolch yn fawr.
Diolch yn fawr iawn.